It's so interesting to me how I'm silenced on YouTube. I'm silenced on so many things. Really, I'm shadow banned the most. TikTok is nailing all my accounts. It's getting pointless to post there. But I'll keep doing it till it ends, and then I can just relax. And then I can just say, you know what, I did all I could do. But here's the thing. In 2020, I was speaking loudly about Chinese cameras, Chinese surveillance. Now, since then, I've said that, no, this is the military-industrial complex. And the reason I keep saying this is because when I spent all of 2020 reporting to all these officials that supposedly protect America, you'd think that that would be a red flag because as I've said many times, I took pictures of these cameras at Northwestern, in the lobby, in the ambulance bay. I got the serial numbers, typed it out, sent it to every single 3-letter agency there is, news media. Nobody was interested. But as I said, the White House left me a voicemail message. Now, if China is such the concern, and this country and all these 3-letter agencies that seem to just who have been silencing Americans all over social media, if they cared so much about the American people, if the Glenn Becks that do all these China shows on China surveillance, which he did a big one tonight, stuff I was talking about in 2020, he's now talking about in 2023. 3 years ago, I was talking about this. I have the emails to prove it. But see, I'm silenced because Glenn Beck, he's an elite. Well, he's close to the elites, I'd say, because they're allowed to talk about that, right? But I wasn't. I was silenced immediately, right? So that's why I say it's not really China. No, they're going to keep saying it's China, and it's not that you should look away from that because they'll use those China companies. But it's it's NATO, it's your military-industrial complex. They control the countries. That's who's been controlling everything. So it doesn't just mean our country. Yes, there's some corrupt people in China, and they use those China names and send some of their China spies here. But this ultimately isn't China independently doing any of this. It's our country. I mean, it's our country that seems to have these military generals that are petrified of communism, and they don't have enough common sense to realize, no, you are the communists. So why are you trying to protect anybody from what you're doing to people? You are the communists. All you generals, yes, that are part of that. You are the communists. So stop fighting communism in the world because you are the communists that have to be defeated. And the best way to defeat you is, bankrupt you. Really, there's no way to really fight that. It's stupid to fight any of these people anyway. It's best to just, bankrupt the hell out of them. But it's just so interesting. Oh, China's all over the news, but everybody thought I was crazy in 2020 when I'm like, no, look, Trump blacklisted this brand. The Northwestern has the serial numbers for this camera that are national security risks, and nobody wanted to get back to me. But now, 3 years later, apparently it's okay to talk about that, right? Such a joke, and yet I still get silenced. See, your Glenn Becks, your mainstream media, they'll never get silenced. I mean, they may say they take a hit here and there, but ultimately they do the bidding for the other side. That's why they get to keep that big platform. They get some benefits from it, as I've said. Nobody in those high-level positions, just like in Hollywood, gets those positions because they're morally sound, let's say. They had to morally sacrifice some things, I would say. Because it makes no sense. It makes no sense that if these people that truly want to protect America, why 3 years ago they wouldn't have contacted me. I mean, if I'm somebody that's protecting America, I would immediately get back to somebody that's emailed me about that. That's a national security threat, but they didn't care. They didn't care. So just think about it. Every time you hear the news, or Glenn Beck, or any of these people, because they're especially Epic Time, they're going to continue this push that China wants to blow us up. China has nukes right on it, just like they did with Putin for years, because they want the war. I told you, they're jonesing like heroin addicts for a war. Epic Times, the military-industrial complex, they'll do anything to push it. And these people in the media do the bidding for them. They're the biatches for them, really, you know. I'm sorry, but it's true, because somebody make it make sense. Why in 2020, when I spent all of 2020 from really February, March, all the way to the fall 2020, emailing all of these media companies, emailing all of these 3-letter agencies, over and over and over, and contacting people on channel, everything I could do, posting about it myself. But nobody cared about it then. But now all of a sudden you're supposed to be petrified of it. And yeah, there's surveillance all around us. You're constantly being surveilled. And Northwestern is definitely, you know, got those cameras that were blacklisted. But you see what elites they are. I'm sure they're still in there. Maybe they're not. I don't work there anymore. But, you know, all these hospitals are unethical. And I'm going to tell people to notice something, especially if you're a nurse and you work at a teaching hospital. Your staffing will likely be a little better, right? A little bit better. But you got to watch the university hospitals the most. And I'm not talking about the people in the trenches, but the people in the trenches just follow what they're told. Like I said, it's conditioning we've all been that's been done to us. But these university hospitals, they control public health. They control the research, and they're turning parts of their hospitals into like it's almost like and I don't want to say agency, but it's so fancy and schmancy, you know, with the nice you know, like luxury type area of the hospital, you know, to maybe go and find out about transplants. Very nice area of the hospital when it comes to transplants. I'm not saying the surgery itself. I'm saying, you know, where maybe you'd go to purchase one, you know, or find a donor, you know, get on a list, right? Yeah. But it's such a fancy area of the hospital. If you work at a teaching hospital I'm sure that they do transplants, because they're all doing the same thing. Just check out the area of that hospital, how it's almost like it's a hotel, right? It's like a luxury hotel that you're just going to go on a little vacation for a little while, get a new organ, and you'll be all good. Because as long as you have the right price, the right amount of money, you get anything you want in this world, right?